Hello, everybody. So, this is my plan because I believe in what I'm doing. I need to start speaking to police officers and police departments and mental health facilities about my story because it's created a lot of liability. The police have chosen the wrong side, and the fact that they've just assumed everything has created a lot of liability for the city. Remote neural monitoring is something that is very real, and it's hard to explain it to people who haven't experienced it. But the reason I'm going to be talking to the police is so that they can protect themselves from more liability. There are people like me everywhere around this nation, and we're marginalized, and people really don't pay much of attention to us. They assume the wrong things, and it makes people very vulnerable to becoming constant victims of crime. And that's pretty much what's happening. I keep asking the police for help, and the police keep saying that the problem is a mental illness. No, that's not the case. I'm genuinely being harassed, and it's ruined my life because they haven't done what they are supposed to do. So I plan to go around and offer my services to police departments and to mental health facilities, and I'll probably try and hit some law schools and some colleges as well. So I'll broaden my scope as I go. Somebody needs to go out and speak about remote neural monitoring to people who are directly responsible for making people who are victims marginalized. I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in today if the police would investigate the crimes. The reason they don't investigate the crimes is because of what they believe, and they go off of what the professionals say. And the professionals, they do not believe in V2K. So I'm going to show you something. And I planned to make a skit with this, and I'll probably do it. I'm just not going to do it today. But these are called bone conduction headphones. They're very strange, and it's ceramic, and you place them not in your ear canal. This is really important. You place them in front of the ear canal, and this is how you wear them. The sound, which would be, I'm thinking microwave emitted, because that's what V2K is. What it does is it sends the wave into your skull where the inner ear vibrates. That is how we hear. What we are used to is it going through the ear canal. And I got to tell you, just because I claim that there are voices in my head doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with me. I certainly don't need seizure medication to be normal. The seizure medication, also known as Abilify, and just like a lot of other mood stabilizers, that's the field of psychiatry calling something something else. The medication can actually cause seizures too in people that don't already have them. And all psychotropic medicine is meant to slow kill. What it does is it increases the toxicity of metal in your blood. It will make your tits lactate, so you don't need to look for LC. You can just go ahead and lick it right there. And it also has a cumulative effect on the body. It's not good. It's poison, and that poison does result in a premature death. 1% of the world is considered schizophrenic, and over 90% of people who are diagnosed with schizophrenia develop it before the age of 25. There was nothing in my past that would indicate that I, in fact, am my diagnosis, and I don't behave my diagnosis either. So the neighbors twisted things so that it sounded like that was what the problem was. And that's what they kept repeating to the police. And the police kept taking me in, and 36 times. I mean, that's a lot. How am I supposed to work if I'm being taken to the hospital every month or a month and a half? And the police would say, well, he's not compliant. You know, that's the law. We got to go back another step. Somebody has to complain about a behavior first. That opens up a case. Just because I go AMA doesn't mean that I'm mentally ill. I choose not to put toxins in my body that I know are going to result in premature death. I think that's a pretty logical choice. But a lot of other people do not see it that way. I have friends harping on me about, why don't you just take the medicine? Or, they'll blame my mood on not being medicated, which is really offensive, because they have known me my whole life, and I'm angry at my neighbors for valid things. So what's been created is a man who's now homeless and carless. Part of that has to do with purchasing a car and then having it stolen. But I got it back. So things just keep happening. And it's this cycle that the police have caused through inaction. And I want to go around and tell my story because I've asked hundreds of times for help, and they're convinced that I need a different kind of help. Part of that, believe it or not, has to do with an assumption of the police that I have deteriorating brain syndrome, or whatever you want to call it. My brain works fine. My emotions are fine. I'm very angry at neighbors for calling something something else and getting what they want that way. So um, I think it's a good use of my time and my energy and resources to uh, try and start a seminar to talk about B2K, because this is a technology that is being marketed to people as beneficial. I'll have to double check and see if this is actually a microwave signal or not. But guess what else is a microwave signal? It's this. And if this is an antenna, so is this. We're electrical beings. So sending something from a tower to a person's head is a lot easier than you would think. And part of that has to do with chemtrails. We've all heard about chemtrails, right? There's a lot of metal. Isn't that ironic? What's an antenna made out of? Metal. So for 20, 25 years, they were cooling the environment, right? It was to stop global warming. That's why the chemtrails were being used, right? No. It was to go ahead and make sure that there was a boatload of metal that interacts with microwaves that's in our soil, our water, and the air. So we breathe it in, we eat it, and we drink it. It kind of sounds like plastic, which is ironically also a carcinogen as well. So you want to talk about surviving in the 21st century, it's about avoiding microwaves. And it's the chosen signal of death that is now on every tower, everywhere. The signal goes 40 to 60,000 feet, which is miles. It's far enough to go ahead and make it all the way to the International Space Station, right? So it's interesting that the towers are a quarter of a mile apart. Isn't that kind of overkill? And is our internet really that much faster? Because what 5G is it's a penetrating wave that goes through the skin. 2.6 doesn't. So for people to not understand that that ending this weapon, which is also used as a tool and is also entrapment and kind of the way that the government catches people doing everything, and they go ahead and they share their information with the police, and it's a nice little team they have going. If people are fine with that, we're all going to get cancer, and nobody will ever collect Social Security. That's the way that the government is, in its immense wisdom, how they're going to save Social Security to make sure that nobody can collect on it. You have to think about the long-term effect of microwaves, and it's breaking DNA, and it causes cancer. Those are the two main things. The breaking DNA part is really a problem because you pass that down to the next generation. It's kind of like lead. If you ever meet somebody who has lead poisoning, there's some retardation going on. There's bad brain genes, and it gets worse and worse every generation. I don't know if you knew that or not, but lead accumulates over the course of generational life. Microwaves do the same thing to DNA, and when you have broken DNA, you get what is termed a hereditary illness or a hereditary disease. That's what that means. So when you look at all the things that are hereditary, we're talking about a lot. There's also ADD and ADHD that is attributed to broken DNA. Diabetes, there's allergies, a whole bunch of stuff. So the government knows this, and they're still choosing to talk about the benefits of a wireless world. Just because you can't see it or feel it doesn't mean that it's harming you. And people don't believe that. They don't believe people who are targeted with the weapon, who actually feel it, because their protection is lowered. So yeah, I think it's important to go ahead and share this with the police, and to let them know that there are people suffering. And the reason why nobody knows about it is because the police don't let people report crime. So it's this big, huge circle, and it's organized stalking. It's stalking by ignoring, and then you have the audience, the neighbor audience, to see the frustration in the behavior, and they go ahead and they refer people to hospitals who don't need it. By the way, all 36 times, 35 times, I was out in less than 10 days. So people believing that there's a problem with me, they're going to have a problem with me. I'm not the one with the problem. And I'll be able to prove that as time goes on. What is a problem is the stereotyping and the discrimination. I mean, I've been a part of a minority group as a white male for 30 years. And I picked up on what it means to be discriminated against. And my neighbors added more minority statuses onto my life by telling people that I was mentally ill and that I'm a targeted individual and suffering from the effects of a microwave signal. It's not a good thing. And hopefully I'll be around long enough to spread the word, to see it end.